Hey guys, Jimmy here. It's been a long time since I've posted anything, and I want to thank everyone who finds themselves still subscribed to me. So today, well, I wanted to say hi because, yeah, there's been a lot of people I haven't been in touch with from my channel, and I apologize. It's just as things have been going and going and going. We've obviously seen the Pokemon community has kind of grown to be kind of corrupt to some extent. A lot of people, selling things for absurd prices, which we kind of saw this. I know you'll see some of my videos where some people are asking for absurd prices for some rather common cards. But yeah, so it's been a little while since I've posted anything. But I'm going to share some code cards with you today, and I'm also going to just show you some of the graded cards that I've gotten. Primarily lately I've been buying CGC graded cards because PSA cards have gone up in price, mainly because there's just a shortage of cards being graded by them lately with the shutdown. And because of that, some of those cards are inflated to prices that they don't deserve. So I really haven't been buying too many of them just because CGC I also find to be more accurate in their grading. I agree with them more. They are very difficult, especially with their with their grading system with the subgrades. I'll show you just one I have here. This is from the Versus series of cards, but you see there we have a 9.5, an 8 for surface, 9 for corners, and 9.5 for edges. So it's kind of difficult to tell, honestly, what they mean by surface, because you got an 8 for surface. I don't remember really seeing necessarily any imperfection on the surface. But there you can see, I do have a sleeve around it, so there's not really anything that's evident. But the thing is largely I do agree with their grades. The thing they're really seemingly very inconsistent to some extent. The only thing I would say that they're inconsistent with is centering. Because you see that's a 9.5 on this card, but you sometimes, it gets a little iffy when you get into the 8.5 because that can hold down the overall grade of the card when the difference between 8 and 8.5 for centering. So but overall 10 is very difficult to earn from them. It's not like PSA where they'll let it slide if the centering isn't quite right. But I've seen some, I would say for 9s, for CGC, I would say they're much more dependable than you find that PSA 9s are. PSA 9s, you have to look, each card is different because I've seen some horrible looking PSA 9s lately. But from what I've found, most 9s, this one obviously does not have subgrades. You can get them with subgrades as that one does have, or without subgrades. I actually just aesthetically, I like the look of the subgrades being included on there more so than I do when they're not. But I'll show you those cards that I've gotten. But in the meantime, here are some codes for everyone who's, been, I suppose, it's been so long that I don't think you've been waiting on me to share codes at this point. But, and yeah, basically the Pokemon market, though, is absolutely crazy, especially with celebrations coming out. That's going to be crazy. And I don't blame people for it, but I think a lot of people, like when I go to the store to buy some cards or whatever, you can't help but get into conversations with everybody, and they, they're all chasing something that you had a long time ago or whatever, and not only that, but Pokemon's reprinting everything. So it's kind of diluting the value of some of the cards that, people who'd been around have already got. So I hope that Pokemon just starts printing everything that's coming out currently in large quantities and kind of leaves the older sets alone, because I don't want to see any more Burning Shadows being printed. I don't want to see any more Shining Legends being printed. I want that should be done. You know, we're, what, 4 years out from Shining Legends. I do not want to see any more Elite Trainer boxes being put out for that. And it's, you know, it's rather selfish to say that, but at the same time, you know, the hobby should be moving forward and, you know, adjusting print runs accordingly to demand, not reprinting things and hurting collectors that have been in it for the, you know, for the, not necessarily long haul. I haven't been in it for that long, but I've been in it much longer than a lot of people find themselves in it now. So not necessarily to exclude those people, but, you know, we have quite a bandwagon thing going on here. So I think that, you know, to preserve value, because I'm sure that when those people get a chase card, such as the Vivid Voltage Chunkachu, you know, or they get, you know, Snorlax, a secret rare from Battle Styles, you know, I'm sure that if you'd ask them, they probably want that to be pretty exclusive to them too. So I don't think that having that opinion is necessarily wrong. I think that that's a healthy opinion to have. It shouldn't hurt people that were in the game before others. So, but here's the CGC cards that I've been buying. I like Kabuto. I do really like that artwork. Just that simple, the eyes kind of glowing there. And Kabutops is one of my more favorite Pokemon, so had to get the evolution of that. Then we have the Lieutenant Surge's Raichu, like I said, from the Versus series. Love the artwork on that card. Versus series, when I had the Beckett magazine delivered to me when I was a kid, I would always look at the upcoming sets, and obviously Versus series was one of the sets that was featured in that magazine. Never did make it to the United States, so it was just one that I'd always had my eye on. This is a Hound Doom, obviously. Love the artwork on that one. I like the tree, that dead tree in the back right. But yeah, that's a very, very nice card. One of my favorites. This was a card that I got for a pretty good price, just because I was willing to let go of the imperfection it does have. So you'll see it got pretty good subgrades there. 9 on edges, an 8.5 on corners, a 7 on surface, and a 9.5 centering. The only problem it has is actually just a defect of the print, because what you'll notice is on the front you have that dragon type pattern there. And what you'll notice on the back is that the dragon type pattern, and it's very hard to tell, has gone through the card. So like I said, it's very difficult to see it. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to pick it up. But it is down there. It's even hard for me to see with the naked eye. Basically, right above that K, if you can see, there's just a little bit of like these white lines. So basically the pattern of the dragon type went through the card. So when they must have pressed it into the card, I guess it was a little too aggressive. So that is one of my favorite cards, though, and I really didn't care that it has that, because it's a defect of printing. It's not by anybody's playing the card or anything like that. This is the pre-release Dark Gyarados. Just bought that because nostalgia. I had that card when I was a kid. I don't know what happened to it. Then we have the Amazing Rare Rayquaza. I have this card. I just wanted it in a slab, so I bought that. So you'll notice if you see a theme here, I usually don't care about centering. That's another thing I like about CGC. You can pick a card that has the subgrades that you prefer. So I'd prefer to have a 10 on edges and a 10 on corners and then a decent surface grade. I would, of course, prefer to have a perfect surface grade, but you can sacrifice one of those subgrades, like a centering, and just not care about it. And then meanwhile, you have, pretty much a perfect card. You'll notice the centering isn't even really that bad, but did get an 8.5, and then you notice like no imperfections on the actual card itself, like the corners or anything like that. Then we have the Amazing Rajirachi. This is the card I just never did pool, so I just said, what the heck, I'm going to get it in a grade. So I just picked up a 9 of that. Then we have the Armored Mewtwo. I know that this was this did not come in good condition when it was released in Japanese. So I saw a pretty good price on this. I have the English version, but I figured I'd pick it up since I knew that the Japanese card was hard to grade. Then we have a Cynthia. Also with Cynthia, I never did pull Cynthia, so I bought this. You'll notice again, the centering is an 8, surface 9.5, corners 10, and the edge is 9.5. So once again, I didn't really care about centering, and it's really not that bad. This front left to right is pretty uneven, but otherwise it's not bad. Then we have an Alakazam V, another card that I just didn't pull. And I do like those swirls on this card, and you know, I got it for a really good price. I didn't even expect to win it because nobody ever bid on it. So I just won it for the listed price, basically the beginning bid. Then we have one of my favorites. I have this ungraded. I bought an ungraded copy first. Then I just said, hey, whatever, I really like the card, I'll just buy one that's graded. This one, you'll notice again, 8.5 centering, 10 surface, 10 corners, and a 9.5 edges. So this is practically a perfect card. I mean, you know, aside from centering, so you choose, you know, what grade, subgrade that you're not necessarily interested in being absolutely perfect, and then you can get a good price. Because this card I got for, I think, $50 in that condition, so I'm pretty happy about that. One of my favorites, like I said, Hound Doom, as you've seen. I've already got the Versus series, and then you'll see another one here. I just bought this one. It is a 9.5. It actually has very good subgrades. That's the thing about these subgrades too. Looking at 9.5, 9.5, 10, and a 9.5. Like the margin for error on CGC is very small. So 10s are very exclusive. That's what makes CGC, you know, if you want the number grade and you want the PSA 10 that, you know, may not necessarily grade as a 10 in any other, you know, BGS or CGC, but you want that number, then you go for the PSA, because, I mean, they're going to give you 10s a lot. But they're very hard to attain in CGC, and I think that would make me pretty happy to get one, you know, because you see a lot of the 10s in CGC, they're selling for $2,000, $3,000 sometimes, because they're very hard to attain. Centering 9.5, 10, 9, and 9.5 on this Eternatus VMAX. But yeah, basically, you know, you do what you prefer, but the thing is if you're buying aftermarket, you know, or after, you know, PSA returns that somebody's putting up for sale, you know, just know that it's going to be an inflated price just because people want that name. They want the PSA name, and trust me, I have, you know, quite a few graded PSA cards myself, but I think at this point where you can get these for quite a bit cheaper, and this is a very reputable company. This is not a company that is known to be damaging cards. This is not a company that's known to be very inconsistent with grading. I think this is a wise choice to be bidding and buying CGC graded cards rather than PSA cards if they are cards that are being sold by people who made their own submissions. If you're willing to submit your own cards of PSA, that's absolutely great. I just think that it's not a good time to be buying graded PSA cards. But thank you guys for watching. I hope to be posting again soon. But yeah, if you guys have any questions or, you know, want to just talk in the comments, just go ahead and feel free. All right, have a great day, guys.